Hello, and welcome to the Patriot Connection. I'm Anthony Mealy.
And I'm Kayla Costello. It's a federal holiday celebrated in the United States on November 11th to celebrate our heroes. Patriot Connection reporter Katie Yockham takes a look at the importance of Veterans Day.
Veterans Day honors everyone who has served our country either in peace or war. Its main purpose is to thank the veterans for their sacrifices. Today, the U.S. has over 16 million veterans, which makes up about 6% of the nation's adult population. Sergeant Andrea Gump has spent the past 10 years serving in the West Virginia National Guard. She has spent time overseas in Iraq, flown a Black Hawk helicopter, and has been to over 10 different states and 4 different countries. Sergeant Gump has recruited over 15 Wheeling Park students into the West Virginia Army National Guard. She is currently an Army recruiter for the National Guard, and she agrees it is important to celebrate Veterans Day.
It's a day to honor those living service members that have contributed a portion of their lives to serving our country.
Caitlin Ortiz and Xander Ackley are just 2 of the Wheeling Park students who have recently enlisted in the military. Xander recently received the West Virginia Army National Guard Leadership Award.
I think it's important because you help out your community, help out all your family, and protect everyone.
I know I'm going to learn a lot, and I'm super excited about the experience, and it's just an experience you can't get anywhere else.
Veterans Day is very near and dear to Wheeling Park's world language teacher, Mrs. Robbins, so much that she formed a club at Wheeling Park called Patriots Helping Patriots.
And my dad spent many years helping people. He would see veterans on the side of the road and he would hand them money, or he would go to a store and buy them something that they needed just because my dad had stuff. So he was able to help others. That kind of just trickled down to me since I was always with him. My sister and I were raised that way. So we want to give back to those who served.
If you're interested in joining Patriots Helping Patriots, you can see Mrs. Robbins in room 244. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Katie Yockham.
On behalf of everyone at the Patriot Connection, thank you to all the veterans who have served. All Ohio County schools will be closed on Monday, November 11th, in observance of Veterans Day.
Whether you're a new driver or a seasoned one, driving in difficult weather can definitely be daunting. Patriot Connection reporter Will Medovic explains.
It could be running out of gas, getting into an accident, or even getting pulled over. Everyone faces some type of fear when they get behind the wheel.
My worst fear while driving is the Wheeling Park High School back lot.
Forgetting to hit the turn signal and then crashing.
Getting completely boxed in by tractor trailers because I have a very small car and they could kill me very easily.
My worst fear while driving is flipping my car.
Looking in the rearview mirror and seeing those red and blue lights.
I'd say probably hitting an animal while driving.
Driving in the snow.
November is the peak month for deer collisions, meaning all drivers must stay alert while on the road. In addition to deer-related accidents, drivers have other factors to look out for, such as leaves and rain. The most dangerous weather in which to drive isn't when it's pouring down rain, as many of us imagine. It's right as it begins to rain, as the oil from the roads begins to seep up and mix with the water on the road. Mr. Keith Phillips is one of Wheeling Park's 3 driver education teachers. He says there are many mistakes new and seasoned drivers make.
When the seasons change and we start getting into fall, we start dealing with different obstacles. The first one I would talk about would be black ice. And when you are driving, especially coming up to Wheeling Park with all the little hills and valleys, the roads, when you're at a higher level by Wheeling Park, could be completely dry and there's no black ice, and then you slide down a little hill or a little valley where there's a lot of shade and the sun doesn't get there, and you can have black ice, which you don't see, and you end up sliding.
When it comes to driving in the rain, most cars have automatic lights which will come on when you turn on your windshield wipers.
So if you are driving in the rain, you need to remember to have your headlights on, and you have to be real careful of hydroplaning. And basically what that means is there'll be some water sitting on the surface of the road, your wheels will hit it, and you'll lose traction.
Whether it's a trip to the store or a longer road trip, it's always a good idea to follow a checklist. First, make sure you check your oil, coolant, brake, and power steering fluids. Next, check your windshield wiper blades for wear and cracks. Third, check to ensure your air conditioning and heating are working properly. Also, take a test drive to test your brakes. If you hear grinding sounds or anything feels off, have a technician take a look. Pack a roadside emergency kit, as well as pen and paper in case you're in an accident. And finally, always tell someone where you're going. Our #1 priority while driving is staying safe, not only for yourself, but for others on the road. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Will Medovic.
As we approach the time of the year when driving conditions worsen, remember to stay vigilant while out on the roads.
This week on the Patriot Connection, we're spotlighting one of the hardest working seniors at Wheeling Park High School. Patriot Connection reporter Alex Tennant explains.
Senior Grace Robertson Villamagna is a standout in the classroom, on stage, behind the scenes, in the band, and on the award-winning Wheeling Park speech and debate team.
This is Grace's 3rd year as a varsity member of the Wheeling Park speech and debate team, where she also serves as the vice president and has mastered a multitude of events. Throughout the years, she has raked in a ridiculous amount of awards. She and the team are logging long, strenuous hours on their road to their 45th consecutive state championship.
I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well as working on my own pieces for actual competition season, but I make sure that everything is pretty orderly among the team. So that's a lot on my plate right now.
Outside of speech, Grace is a member of the marching band, concert band, and jazz band, as well as the orchestra. She is also a 2-year member of the Young Patriots Choir, the vice president of the Park Players, and is the head of the set construction crew. Being this involved can result in a lot of stress.
I really have to prioritize me time, so I go home and I get all of my homework done or all of the work done I need to do for a speech or whatever, and then I take a moment to relax and have the night to myself.
On top of all of this, Grace's grade point average is through the roof. She sets high standards both in and out of the classroom.
Miss Matthew is Grace's counselor and speech coach, and believes she is a wonderful young woman and is going to impact the world in wonderful ways.
Grace pushes herself so hard to take the most amount of classes that she can. This year she even took classes outside of her regular day so she could fit more classes into her Wheeling Park schedule. Grace is just such a wonderful young woman, and she is going to impact the world in such wonderful ways, and I cannot wait to see what she does in the future.
Members of the speech and debate team think the world of her.
Grace is a very influential role model on the team. She always has positive feedback, but also tells you things that you need to know about what you're doing.
In speech, she's always just watching her pieces. It's so great to see how she gets into character and emotional and how well memorized she is in her performance. And she's also great to look up to because she's a good student, she gets good grades, and she's always so nice to everybody.
As speech president, we are constantly always working together, and there is no one that is literally so easier to work with than she is. We're basically pretty similar when it comes to work ethic, and we're always on top of things, and she is literally just the best person to talk to about anything and about getting things done.
She is just really dedicated and part of being on the speech team. She went last year with us to a Kentucky tournament as an observer, and she had pages of notes just watching what these winning teams were doing and what these winning pieces were, and came back, wasn't even competing, came back as a scout, as a coach, as just a really wonderful leader for her team. Just an incredible kid.
Grace plans on attending West Virginia University next fall and becoming a pediatrician. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Alex Tennant.
If you'd like to see someone spotlighted on the Patriot Connection, you can stop by the radio and TV room and see Mrs. Dillon or Mr. Nolte. As we head into our break, let's meet some of our Patriot Connection team members.
After that, knowing the air check, we'll have another Park TV trivia.
Hello, I'm Ivy Neidert, and I'm part of WPHP-TV's team. This is my senior year, and I've been a member of the broadcasting team for all 4 years. Whether it's learning how to speak in front of people, helping others put their stories together, or filming Wheeling Park football games, this program has made an impact on me. Outside of school, I work part-time at the Fat Apple Bakery in Bridgeport, and also spend a lot of time with my family and friends. Not only have I made lots of friends from being in the Broadcasting Technology program, I have also expanded my knowledge of the industry. For WPHP-TV, I'm Ivy Neidert.
I'm Taylor Williams with WPHP-TV.
In Winning Park's Broadcasting Technology program, I work not only as a reporter and videographer, and also as a producer for our weekly newscast, The Patriot Connection. Outside of school, I like reading, playing softball, and even coloring. As an active member in this program for the past 4 years, I have become a completer, obtained membership in the National Technical Honor Society, competed in the State Skills USA Leadership Competition, participated and worked for the West Virginia State Department of Education. Being in the Broadcasting Technology program has allowed me to meet so many new people and create friends. It has also allowed me to become more confident in how I speak and present myself. For WPHP-TV, I'm Taylor Williams.
Veterans Day is a time to thank and honor our veterans who have shown their patriotism by serving in the military. This week's question is, what was Veterans Day originally called? Was it A, Armistice Day, B, Soldier Day, or C, National Heroes Day? We'll have the answer when we come back.
What does Main Street Bank mean to you?
Well, Main Street has extended hours every business day, and they're open most holidays. Their new checking and savings accounts are really good. The balance requirement is very low, and they have online bill pay and debit cards right away. Plus, they have no fees or low fees. Great service, higher interest. That's money in the bank. The right bank.
Open your checking and savings account at Main Street Bank. You deserve a bank this good.
Did you know that half of Americans admit that they are addicted to their cell phones? Additionally, when it comes to cell phone manners, most of us do not have good ones. Using proper cell phone etiquette can be as easy as turning your brightness down in dark settings, keeping your phone to your ear and not on speaker in public, giving the person you're talking to your undivided attention and putting your phone away, and making sure you don't have private conversations or arguments on the phone when you're in public. You never know who could be listening. When you fail to use proper phone etiquette, you risk being someone that people would not want to be around too often. This message is brought to you by WPHP.
Before the break, we asked you, what was Veterans Day originally called? Was it A, Armistice Day, B, Soldier Day, or C, National Heroes Day? The answer is A, Armistice Day. Armistice Day was originally a day to honor World War I veterans. However, in 1954, after World War II and the Korean War, Congress changed the day to Veterans Day to honor all veterans.
It's one of the leading causes of death amongst teens. Patriot Connection reporter Allie Johnson takes a look at preventing suicide in the U.S.
Nearly 50,000 people in the U.S. died of suicide in 2022. That's one death every 11 minutes.
Although there is no single cause for suicide, it turns out those who suffer from mental illness are at the highest risk. When mental health issues such as anxiety and depression remain undiagnosed, this can lead to harmful stigmas. Mrs. Murphy is one of Wheeling Park's community and schools liaisons and talks about the stigma surrounding mental health.
Mental health is so important because when we make other people aware of, what mental health is and how it affects, ourselves and other people, we reduce stigma.
So how do you know if someone is at risk for hurting themselves? First, your friend or loved one may have changed their behavior. Some may talk about being a burden to others, feeling hopeless, or having no reason to live. Studies show that most people who take their own lives will show one or more warning signs. Mrs. Murphy says warning signs differ from person to person.
I think some people show signs of depression, like being sad, being unmotivated, changing different patterns that they typically have. And then other people, those people who can hide it better, maybe they just come across as angry. They're kind of like closed off. So I think it really depends on the person.
Studies show 1 in 5 teens struggle with mental illness or suicidal thoughts. So who would you turn to if you needed help?
If I were struggling with my mental health, I would go to Dr. Maloney.
If I was dealing with suicide or having bad thoughts, I probably would talk to my mother about that.
I personally believe praying is helpful for me, but I also think that going to a school counselor or going to a family or friend is really helpful because they're always there for you when you need them.
If I was struggling with suicide or had those thoughts, I would definitely go to my mom.
Most importantly, remember that help is always available. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, reach out to a trusted adult right away. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Allie Johnson.
If you don't have anyone you feel comfortable talking to, a trained counselor will always answer the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 988.
We're continuing our faculty and staff introductions this week. Patriot Connection reporter Peyton Heldreth introduces us to the members of Wheeling Park's Social Studies Department.
Wheeling Park's Social Studies Department offers a variety of classes for students. The Social Studies Department is home to 13 teachers, with Wheeling Park gaining 2 new teachers this year. Mr. Marsh is the Social Studies Department chair and has been teaching at Park for 24 years. He says there's a lot of things happening in the Social Studies Department.
One of the things that we really are proud of is the fact that we offer 6 AP classes, which allows students to start getting college credit well before they go to college. It's a great way to see what college classes are going to be like. We also offer a couple of CP classes. Again, it gives students the opportunity to start taking college level classes well before they're in college. We do some things outside of the classroom as well. That's kind of exciting. We get all of our 18-year-olds registered to vote. We do field trips. We take our students outside of the classroom. One of the field trips that we like to hang our hat on is the one in Washington, D.C. We go and visit the Holocaust Museum. We visit the African American Museum. We give our students kind of a taste of what Washington, D.C. is like. So that's something that's pretty exciting as well.
Other teachers for the department include Mr. Beltrando, Mr. Cirilli, Ms. Dobrinsky, Mr. Dan Doyle, Mrs. Farrow, Ms. Goodnight, Mr. Howard, Ms. Mamakis, Mrs. Richardson, Mr. Stanton, Mr. Treveri, and Mr. Young. Ms. Dobrinsky is one of our 2 new teachers. She is really enjoying her time at Park and is very happy to be back.
Teaching at Park has been a big adjustment because I'm coming from a AA school with around 700 students, but I've been so welcomed. Everyone's been very kind, the administration, staff, faculty, and I'm loving it so far.
Starting this year, freshmen need 5 credits to graduate, while sophomores, juniors, and seniors need 4 credits. Reporting for the Patriot Connection, I'm Peyton Heldreth.
We are so grateful for our Social Studies Department and are excited to welcome our new teachers.
Now, let's take a look at what else is going on at Wheeling Park High School this week.
Interested in archery at Wheeling Park? Even if you've never shot a bow before, the coaches will teach you. Questions? Reach out to Coach Thomas at 304-281-3731.
Wheeling Park has started a debate club. If you're interested in joining, see Ms. Draginski in room 215/217. It meets week 2 during the activity period.
Wheeling Park is no longer accepting cash at sporting events. You must buy a ticket online or use a debit card if you buy one in person. Remember that all Wheeling Park students get in free to all regular season home sporting events, but you must have your valid student ID.
Sign up to be a member of Drug-Free Clubs of America now. This year's members will get new rewards like Chick-fil-A, parking spots, and there'll be weekly raffles. Fill out the form on Schoology now.
Week 2 clubs will meet on Friday during activity period, and Week 3 clubs will meet on Friday, November 22nd.
If you're interested in buying basketball or wrestling clothing to support our teams, check out the BSN order form on Schoology now.
Patriots Helping Patriots is a club here at Wheeling Park High School whose goal is to help veterans in our community, spread patriotism, and help others. If you are interested in joining this club, please see Mrs. Robbins in room 244 with your $20 dues. This due includes a Patriots Helping Patriots t-shirt.
All students must have their student ID with them at all times during the school day. You must have your ID in order to get breakfast or lunch and to be admitted to any school activities. You may purchase a replacement ID for $3 in the technology office. It is located on the 3rd floor near the school store.
One of the park's newest clubs, Books and Banner, would love to have you join. Just see Miss Jose in room 333.
All males who are 18 years old must sign up for this elective service. You may do so online at sss.gov, or you may pick up a form in the school counseling office.
Looking for a part-time job? Wheeling's Laughlin Chapel is looking for an after-school classroom mentor. It provides free after-school and summer programs for children. Children enrolled are in grade K through 5. The after-school program is held Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6 and follows the Ohio County Schools academic calendar. There are no weekend or evening hours.
Ohio County Schools will be closed for Thanksgiving break from Wednesday, November 27th through Friday, November 29th. School will resume on Monday, December 2nd.
On the Wheeling Park sports calendar this week, Wheeling Park swim team will compete at Lindsay at 6 p.m. Thursday, November 14th.
Our swim team will be back in action on Saturday, November 16th at Bethany College's Northern Panhandle Splash. Competition begins at 10 a.m. Good luck to our Patriots.
That's a wrap for this week's Patriot Connection. We're on WLTV 14, 7 days a week at 6:30 a.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. For all of the Patriot Connection reporters, I'm Kayla Costello.
And I'm Anthony Mealy. Have a great day.